There are some players who win matches, and then there are players who change how the world feels about football. Ronaldinho was one of those few. Before the stadiums chanted his name, before the trophies and the fame, there was just a boy running barefoot through the dusty streets of Porto Alegre, Brazil. His real name was Ronaldo de Assis Moreira, born on March 21, 1980, the son of a shipyard worker and a nurse. But his family didn't have much. The walls of their small home could barely keep out the rain. Yet inside that home there was music, laughter, and football. Always football. Ronaldinho's father, João, loved the game. He used to take little Dinho to the local club, where he worked part-time as a handyman. There, the boy watched older players train, copying every move, every trick, every smile. But one night, everything changed. When Ronaldinho was just 8 years old, his father died suddenly from a heart attack while taking a bath. The light of the house dimmed, the laughter faded, and the young boy lost his hero. Most children might have broken under that weight, but not him. Ronaldinho carried his father's dream in his feet. He played on the dirt fields every day, barefoot, laughing, dancing with the ball as if it were part of his soul. Even in sadness, he smiled. Even in poverty, he created magic. People began to notice that there was something special about the kid with the curly hair, something the streets could never teach, and coaches could never control. By the age of 13, scouts from Grêmio, one of Brazil's top clubs, had heard the name Ronaldinho. They came to watch and couldn't believe what they saw. He wasn't just dribbling. He was painting. Every touch was a brushstroke of genius. He would juggle the ball for minutes without it touching the ground. He'd smile as defenders fell for his tricks, as if the game itself was a dance only he knew the rhythm to. But there was still a long way to go. Brazil was full of talented boys, and most never made it out of the favelas. For Ronaldinho, football wasn't just a game anymore. It was his way to bring back his father's smile. When Ronaldinho finally wore the blue and black jersey of Grêmio, he was just 16, but he played like a man who'd been born on a football field. His debut wasn't just another match. It was the start of a movement. Every time the ball touched his feet, defenders panicked. He didn't just play football, he performed it. Within a year, highlight reels of this smiling teenager were spreading across Brazil. His tricks were unthinkable: steepovers, flicks, back heels, and the kind of dribbles that made crowds gasp. He didn't just score goals. He made people fall in love with the game again. Then came the call from Europe. In 2001, Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, signed Ronaldinho. The boy who grew up in the favelas was now living in France, playing among world stars. But even there he stood out. France had never seen anyone like him. He played with freedom, like a street kid who didn't care about rules. His smile became his signature, and his opponents hated it, because they couldn't stop him. But behind that smile was fire. Ronaldinho was hungry to prove himself on the world stage. That chance came in 2002, when he joined forces with Ronaldo and Rivaldo for Brazil's national team at the World Cup in Japan and South Korea. The world didn't know what was coming. In one unforgettable match against England, Ronaldinho did something that still leaves commentators speechless. A 40-yard free kick that sailed over David Seaman's head and into the net. The crowd erupted. The world gasped. That was the day the planet learned the name Ronaldinho Gaucho. He wasn't just a player, he was a phenomenon. Brazil lifted the 2002 FIFA World Cup, and Ronaldinho's smile became the face of joy, creativity, and the magic of Brazilian football. Every kid wanted to play like him. Every street echoed with his name. And every defender in Europe started having nightmares. His journey was no longer just his own. It was a celebration of art, courage, and the power of happiness in a world obsessed with winning. But the best was yet to come. A new chapter was waiting in the heart of Spain. When Ronaldinho signed for FC Barcelona in 2003, the club was struggling. No major trophies, no confidence, no spark. But then, a single man walked through the doors of Camp Nou. And everything changed. He didn't come as a savior. He came as a smile. And that smile brought the joy back to Barcelona. In his very first match against Sevilla, Ronaldinho picked up the ball near the halfway line, sprinted past defenders, and unleashed a thunderbolt that crashed into the crossbar before bouncing in. The stadium exploded. They knew something magical had arrived. He played football like poetry. Every touch was a verse. Every dribble a rhythm, every goal a song. Crowds didn't just cheer for him, they felt him. Under Frank Rijkaard's guidance, Ronaldinho became the heart of Barcelona. He transformed a broken team into a family, and a struggling club into the most exciting force in football. From 2004 to 2006, Ronaldinho ruled Europe. He won La Liga, Champions League, and FIFA World Player of the Year, twice. The entire world bowed to the king of Camp Nou, but it wasn't just the trophies that made him special. It was how he played. When he received the ball, defenders froze, not out of fear, but out of awe. His dribbles made people laugh and cry at the same time. He'd nutmeg a defender, smile, and walk away as if it was just another day at the office. And in 2005, at the Santiago Bernabeu, he did the unthinkable. He destroyed Real Madrid, not with aggression, but with art. He scored twice, each goal more beautiful than the last. And something happened that no one could believe. Real Madrid fans stood up and applauded him. The world had witnessed greatness and respected it. At that time, young players across Europe dreamed of becoming Ronaldinho. One of them was a shy, talented teenager from Argentina, Lionel Messi. Ronaldinho took him under his wing, teaching him not just how to play, but how to love the game. Years later, Messi said, "Ronaldinho was like a big brother to me. He made football fun again." And truly, that's what Ronaldinho gave the world. Not just victories, but joy. Football wasn't just competition anymore. It was art with a heartbeat. But like all magic, it couldn't last forever. Behind the glitter and glory, the legend was starting to fade. By 2007, the football world began to notice something. Ronaldinho's light was dimming. Injuries, late nights, and the endless pressure of fame had started to take their toll. The same man who once danced on the pitch now looked tired, slower, and distant. Barcelona had changed too. A new generation was rising, and at its heart was a young Lionel Messi, the very boy Ronaldinho had once mentored. The king was handing over the crown. In 2008, Ronaldinho left Barcelona. His farewell was quiet, almost painful. The fans cried, but they understood the magician had given them everything. He moved to AC Milan, then back to Brazil with Flamengo and Atletico Mineiro, where he won hearts again. He was older now, but the magic never truly left his feet. Every stadium he walked into still felt his aura. He would smile, do one flick, one impossible pass, and the crowd would remember who he was. Because Ronaldinho was not defined by trophies, he was defined by joy. He showed the world that football was more than just competition. It was expression, music, and freedom. His greatest gift wasn't his dribble or his goals, it was how he made people feel. Even after retirement, his influence lived on. Modern stars, from Neymar to Mbappe, still talk about how Ronaldinho inspired them to play with happiness. And Messi, his spiritual successor, never forgot the man who smiled his way into football history. Ronaldinho's legacy isn't about perfection. It's about passion. It's about remembering that in a world obsessed with winning, sometimes smiling is the greatest victory of all. When asked what football means to him, Ronaldinho once said, "The day I stop smiling when I play is the day I stop playing." That was the truth of his life. A boy who played through pain, danced through struggle, and made the world fall in love with a ball. He wasn't just a player. He was the spirit of joy and motion. He was proof that you don't need to be serious to be great. You just need to love what you do, and let that love shine through everything you touch. Even today, when we watch old clips of Ronaldinho, that smile, that music in his movement, we don't just see football. We see freedom. We see art. We see happiness. The magician may have retired, but his smile still plays forever in the hearts of millions.